Well, I'm at it again. Just about finished up my mile. And I'm walking on the road because we've had rain. But I wanted to show you how pretty, right when you pass my house, how pretty the road is. Isn't this just beautiful? Now this on this side of the road is our property. Let me make sure a car's not coming. I haven't seen one car on my walk, but look how pretty. It goes around and curves. Now I can't walk down there because my neighbor has some dogs and I'm just not sure if they can get, that's my dog's barking at me, not sure if they can get, I want to take the chance. But anyway, isn't that beautiful? This goes off. This is our new fence that we got. But this was some pretty sights, a different sight. I'm going to try and zoom in. You can see that hill down there. It goes way down. This is a really, really steep hill here. When it dries up and I'm in better shape, I may try and walk that. But not right now. Anyway, this is our property. The front of our property. And that roof right there is the house. Well, I made split pea soup for lunch. And no, I did not make it in my measuring cup. I told Tommy this is the only thing about doing my FitnessPal when I do my recipes. I have got to measure everything to see how many servings I have. The split pea soup made 10 cups and each cup is 112 calories. I had 2 cups. It was delicious. And like always, I have the video up on our YouTube channel. Hey, I just want to say right quick, the reason I'm not putting every video, food video that I make on here is because I don't want this daily vlog video to be extra long. And if you're not interested in knowing how to make split pea soup, you don't have to sit through it. All right, I'm prepping for tomorrow. We are going to have wraps. And so I am using my sourdough, my Easy Sourdough Start to Finish book. Page 22, I am doing pita bread. I'm actually cutting this recipe in half. And I'm going to be doing a little bit different because I'm doing spelt instead of white flour. Now I do want to tell you, if you do not do sourdough, you can make this recipe and omit the starter, but you're going to need to add a little bit more water. Let's see, I'm going to be using 1/4 cup of starter, so I would go ahead and put an extra 1/4 cup of water. I'm going to use 3/4 cup of water. And here is my starter. It's nice and active. This is not a spelt starter. I'm working on a spelt starter. I had to throw one away because I ignored it too long and it went bad on me. But anyway, so this is just a white flour starter, but I still do okay using it, and it's 1/4 cup of starter. I really find with using the spelt flour, doing the sourdough, you putting the starter in it, it really works good. This is very, very simple recipe. All right, you're just going to stir that together. And so I'm going to put 3/4 teaspoon of salt. And remember, I'm cutting this recipe in half. Three-fourths teaspoon of salt. And you don't have to put any yeast. I do like to do things the fast way. And so I do put a little bit of yeast in it. Like about 1/4 teaspoon. Stir that together. And this is going to be a really sticky dough. It's not going to be like a dough that you need. You're just going to stir this up. It's going to call for, you're going to put 1½ cups of flour. Oh, but you know what? I forgot something. I like to put my flax and psyllium and my chia seeds in here. And I'm going to put about 1/2 teaspoon of flax. Fourth of a teaspoon of chia seeds. And 1/4 teaspoon of psyllium husk powder. And that's all to help it bind better together. And it really does help using the spelt because the spelt is a drier dough. All right, so we have 3/4 cup of water. And you know what? My water was wrong. I'm just doing this in my head. I don't have it written down. I'm dividing the recipe in half in my head, and I did it wrong. This should have been, let's see, it called for 1 1/4 cup, so it should have been 1/2 cup of water plus 1/8 cup of water. But anyway, I'm gonna have a little extra water, 1/4 cup of starter, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and I put 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, which you don't have to do that if you're using starter. If you're not using starter, I would go ahead and put 1 1/2 teaspoons of yeast, and then 1 1/2 cups of flour. So I've already got 2 cups, so that's 3. We'll see how sticky this is. No big deal. I'll just add a little extra flour if it doesn't turn out just right. And that's way too wet right there. So I'm going to add just a little bit more. Remember, I did my water wrong, so. I've tried to do pita dough for years and have not been able to get a good pita, and this works so good. It's our favorite. Whether I'm using white flour or spelt, but we really do like the spelt. Do a little bit more. And you may have to do the same thing even if you do the water right. Different environments depending on how humid and all that kind of stuff it is where you're at. All right, now we have a nice sticky dough. You see? And what you do with this is you put you kind of cover it. You don't cover it completely. Like I'm gonna put my lid on my container, but I'm gonna leave it cocked up like this where it can breathe a little bit. You could do saran wrap or whatever, but I use this container because I'm gonna let this rise for about an hour or two, and then I'm gonna put it straight in the fridge, and then I'm gonna have pita dough ready anytime I wanna make a fresh pita. Today was a little bit easier day. I had a leftover biscuit for breakfast. I had a good lunch, and for supper I'm gonna have leftover chicken and vegetables that I had made a few nights ago. So my cooking day has been much more simple. I've got my pita dough prepped for tomorrow, so that's gonna make a little bit easier of a meal for me too. And also I want to show you my books that I have mentioned today. I've mentioned both my books. This is my 20 Easy Instant Pot Recipes. It's an ebook. You can print it out and have your book just like mine, and it's got lots of different recipes in it. I actually add different stuff to it. And this is my sourdough start to finish. This is where I got the pita recipe out of, and look, it's regularly $19.95. If you'll put in the coupon code PITA, you'll get $5 off. I also want to tell you that I will be going live tomorrow, Friday, January 8th. Around lunchtime sometime. We're Central Time, so between 11 and 12:30 or so. Sometime or another, I'm going to go live showing you how I'm going to roll out my pita bread and cook it. And please like, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up.